Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Classic Comics. So, the comic shops near me were all closed last week, so I wasn't able to get any new comics last week or this week. I'm probably going to wind up signing up for Comixology and reviewing comics that way. I'm not a big fan of digital, but, you got to do what you got to do, right? So, anyway, I have a lot of comics that I've bought that I haven't gotten around to reviewing, so I thought I'd go ahead and start working into some of those. So this is Black and White by Art Thibert. This is a Comicsgate book. I backed the campaign on Indiegogo, based mainly on the art, which just looks fantastic. This is a continuation of a book that he did back in the 90s. Kind of like EVS with Cyberfrog. I never read Black and White back in the day. I remember it kind of vaguely, but couldn't really tell you anything about it. So I had no firm expectations going into this. So, and again, writer-artist Art Thibert. I guess co-written by this Taylor Grosso fella. Now, the basic setup is that, I'll go here. So this guy here, this is Reed Blackett. And he's a former British agent who left the service and is trying to run an international import-export business with this guy named Brooks Gray, who is kind of like his Q. He's kind of like a cross between Alfred and Q from James Bond. Now, they tried to set up a deal with a brewery in China called Sung Brothers Brewery. The brewery is run by Whitney Sung here and her uncle. They receive a rival offer from a company called Phoenix World Robotics. And without getting too bogged down in things, Phoenix Robotics is run by this guy, whose name is Jake Chang. And Chang he was an orphan who was adopted by Whitney's family, but then they had a falling out and they kind of kicked him out. And now he's basically kind of back now to get revenge. He turned against the Sung family. And then Whitney's uncle, he winds up getting kidnapped by these robots. So Reed, he decides he's going to help Whitney out. And where are we at here? Okay, so now she's been committed to this like insane asylum or something like that. And Reed gets in to spring her. But she has her own ideas and she gets away from him. And I mean, look at this work. I mean, this looks great. This is such a refreshing change from most comics these days. He really keeps the plot moving. He keeps the action really moving. There's something happening on every panel, just about on every page. So she goes to Chang's headquarters to confront him. Then Reed shows up again. And they wind up making a getaway. And then Reed decides he's going to help her get her uncle back. And it all has to do with this mystic stone. There's this kind of stones or some kind of mineral that Whitney's family found years ago, and it's some kind of a power source. I'm assuming some of this stuff is from plot lines from the old book in the 90s, I guess. I don't really know, because he doesn't really explain anything. Also, it's worth noting, so this is actually part 1. There's going to be a part 2 in a separate book. So we're only getting part 1 here. So the story's not complete. So, I'm not going to give final judgment on this, because I don't think I can judge the whole story without having read the whole thing. So now Brooks, the Q guy, he makes these suits for them. And basically they're like bulletproof and fireproof, but they also boost your strength and your speed. They're kind of battle suits. And then he's got these little headsets they wear, if you can see, like here and here, that they're kind of wearing over their brows, that kind of sync their brains and basically kind of mind meld them so they can communicate telepathically and know what the other is thinking. And then they go after Chang. And again, I mean, great depiction of action here. It's fun. It's exciting. Great full page shot there. Nice splash page. And Chang, he holds the uncle hostage. And he makes his getaway, and then they get out before the place blows up. And again, it's kind of to be continued. So as I said, this is the first part of a two-part story. So it's difficult to fully judge it without the full thing. Having said that, overall, this book it's quite good. Thibert's art is really what sells it. I mean, it's the main selling point. He's an established pro. He's been in comics for, 25 years. He knows what he's doing. And like I said, looking at this artwork, it's very refreshing. The heroes look heroic. They look cool. Whitney, she's really drawn sexy. She looks really hot. It's all very much kind of like 90s style image, comic book art. But it's not just the figures, which are great, but, the paneling, the layouts. He does some fun things here and there throughout the book. Like here where Blackett, he's kind of, he's part of this panel, but he's not standing in the panel. He's kind of separate. A nice little thing there. And as I said, Thibert really, he really keeps the plot moving and going. I mean, there's barely a moment to stop and breathe in this thing. He keeps it all going so quick. Now, the characterization of Black and White it's kind of simplistic, but it works for this story. Basically, Black is a former secret agent, kind of a Bond-like character. He's a pro. He's very controlled, very methodical. He likes to have a plan, and follow the plan. He's very cautious. Whitney, on the other hand, is kind of a loose cannon. She's very reckless and impulsive, charges in without thinking, which tends to cause problems. And like I said, Gray, the gadget guy, he's kind of Q crossed with Alfred. Where is it at here? Yeah, here. So in this sequence here, he kind of talks about his history with Black or with Blackett and how he works, why he works with him. And he was partners with Blackett's father. And the father was killed, so he's kind of taken the son under his wing and, kind of looks out for him. And kind of like Alfred, he really would like for Blackett to settle down, find a nice girl, settle down, live a normal life. So, like I say, I mean, it's nothing, the characterization is pretty simple, straightforward. So is the plot. There's not much in the way of twists or turns or anything like that. It's all pretty simple and straightforward, but it's fun. There are a few things in this that kind of make me scratch my head. First of all, Whitney, her last name is Sung, and their brewery is in rural China. It says here in rural China. And yet, she doesn't look, at no point in this book does she ever look the least bit Asian. She looks very much clearly Caucasian. And this is her uncle. He doesn't look Chinese either, or Asian either. So why is this in China again? It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But beyond that, the story is, it's so-so. The villain, Chang, he's kind of thinly portrayed. You know, he's got a grudge against the Sung family, and he uses his robots to get revenge. And there's not much to him beyond that. So, you know, I give this a thumbs up. If you like 90s style image, art, and storytelling, then you will like Black and White. Now, this was an Indiegogo campaign, which ended over a year ago. But Art Thibert, actually, he tweeted just last week that he's going to be reviving this and doing a second chance campaign so that people who didn't get it before can get it, you know, if they want to. So if you're interested, go check out Indiegogo, or maybe check Art Thibert's Twitter feed, and you can probably see about getting this. And like I say, it's a fun book, a fun, great-looking book. Now, have any of you read this comic? And if so, did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments, and please hit the like button before you leave. Also, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.